All right, I am live and so happy to have Vanessa Emerson from the Dental Speaker here with us today. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, Laura. I'm really excited about it.
I am too, and I am so pleased that we have met and our worlds have connected because you are just an amazing connector in this world of not just the dental industry, but really of friendships and helping people achieve great things and really self-empowering. So I congratulate you on that and thank you for your friendship and your expertise.
Thank you. I love to connect. It just is. It's a fun to be able to connect with. There's so many amazing people in dentistry.
Yeah, that's and it's so fun to make those connections and find out who everybody knows. It really is true. We all are just a few people away from knowing everyone.
For sure.
But Vanessa, she basically, to put it simply, you help event planners and educators not only find each other, but work together successfully. I yeah, I think that's awesome. And you are the founder of the Dental Speaker Institute, the Dental Speakers Bureau, and the Dental Speaker.
Correct.
Wow. And then on top of that, you have a live session called JUMPSTART, and we'll get into a little bit about that. So you are busy. You were voted one of the top 25 women in dentistry in 2017. So we have a real star here today, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit about you. There's so much more. Maybe just give us a brief intro to who you are, how you got started in this, and what your path has been.
Oh, I'd be happy to. And I'm really excited to be here with your audience. I think that the people that you attract are probably the people that I would prefer to attract as well, to women who want to, you know, further their business, but also be balanced in their life. It's something we all continually need to work with. So I started 20 years ago in this industry. Some of your listeners may know our friend Catherine Belt. And Catherine hired me to help her with her office. I'd been working in general surgery at that time, and the doctor I worked with had retired. And it was just, I'm a big believer in listening to your gut. And I had seen an ad in a newspaper back in the day when that's how we found jobs.
Awesome.
Yeah. Looking for someone to help a dental speaker and consultant. And honestly, I had no idea what that really meant. But she answered the door and we had an interview, and I just loved her and really hoped I'd have the chance to work with her. And luckily, she hired me. Fast forward a couple of years later, we were helping her colleagues know how to create their marketing materials and get booked and find consulting clients. And so she really encouraged me to start my own business. So I've been helping speakers and consultants for 20 years, but I think I'm in my 15th year now of my own business, where we have a couple of different focuses for speakers and consultants. It's really four things. And you mentioned them. We have our education arm, which is Dental Speaker Institute, where we educate speakers and consultants. We have the Bureau, Dental Speakers Bureau, which connects meeting planners and speakers so that they can find the right speakers for their meetings. The Dental Speaker is really a marketing firm where we help speakers with their marketing materials. And then the fourth area is business advisory. So I do work with speakers at all levels of experience. From, I think the people I'm working with right now that have the most experience is around 40 years, 30 to 40 years of speaking, as well as newbies. So I feel really grateful that I answered that ad, and that honestly, I can't tell this story without telling you how much it means to me that Catherine wasn't afraid, that she was abundance minded when she encouraged me to really grow my own business. I think that speaks so highly of her. And there are so many people like that in dentistry. It just attracts the most amazing people.
That really is a gift, because you have to be very confident to believe in somebody and let them go on their way, even though they're a valued member of your team at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
That's really a gift. And I think it's very interesting too how you work with not only newbies but seasoned speakers and consultants that still seek you out for help, and just speaks well to the ongoing, continuing self-improvement, self-education, that it just never ends.
True. Just like your website, you're never done. Or you haven't bought your last computer, right? It's just one of those things we continually need to improve.
Right, right. So we wouldn't this wouldn't be a conversation with Vanessa without touching on your big passion, your life vision. And we can see behind you what it is that you love. So tell us a little bit about what your passion, what drives you to really do what you do.
Well, and thank you for bringing up passion. And I'm such a believer that it's important to have a really strong life vision, whether we're an entrepreneur or not, because otherwise we just end up somewhere. And so it's important to think through what we'd like in our life. For me, I never set out to be a crazy cat lady. It was never on the radar. But I was raised on a farm, literally, and so we always were surrounded with animals, and I think that's part of the experience in the environment that has conditioned me to where I'm at now with cats. But it's been, I believe I'm in my 9th year now with rescuing. Here in the Phoenix area, we have quite a cat situation. Community cats, the Humane Society estimates there are around 250,000, over 250,000 free roaming cats outside.
Wow.
So yeah, cats can hide, and they're not, people don't really always recognize that they're out there, whereas dogs, it would be more obvious. But so I'm part of a community of thousands of people here in the Phoenix area that trap, neuter, and return, and rescue, get them to rescues, get them to to be adopted. And so we have our own little sanctuary here in our house. But my ultimate life vision, a part of that is around cats, and the idea that I would love to be part of an outdoor cat sanctuary where we can help thousands of cats at a time.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love that you have this life vision, and that is something you are very, very passionate about as well, is developing your own life vision, and that how that is so important. And so you probably help people sit down and do that.
I do have some exercises. I think that there's not a lack of exercises online. You simply have to Google life vision, and there'll be so many different ways to do it. One of the and I should have grabbed the book. Can I just reach out of the frame? I'm still here.
Yes.
This is one of the books that I think is so helpful for your entrepreneur women, dental professionals that are listening in. The book is Making Money is Killing Your Business. The author is Chuck Blakeman. I love this book. I've read it several times. I've listened on Audible a couple of times. And about a third of the way in, Chuck walks you through a really great exercise that can help you lay out your own life vision. There's not one way. We live in a world of more than one right answer. So each of you will figure out what works best for you. For me, it's just a couple of bullet points that encapsulate what I would like my life to feel like on a day-to-day basis. If your life vision says, a trip to Hawaii, that's not a life vision, that's a goal, it's an event. So your life vision should really be about what would you like to do on an ongoing basis? How would you like to spend your days? So for a really great exercise, use Chuck's book, Making Money is Killing Your Business. You can listen on Audible. For a way to get started, one of my favorite exercises is my husband and I hike. I know you do a fair amount of hiking too. I love to get out. Yeah. Yes. And sometimes we'll hike for 4 or 5 hours, and, we live together. So, there's not that much to say. So after a while, you kind of have talked it out. And so one of us will ask the other, what did you do with your $1 billion today? And then while you're out there hiking, it's just kind of fun to think, well, what if it puts you in that zone of, what do I want? Do I really want someone that cooks my meals for me, or do I want to cook my meals? If you could have anything you want, I think that's the power of the life vision, is to get your head around, if I could create it the way I'd like it to be, what do I want? I'm trying to remember which of the great philosophers was it. Maybe Henry David Thoreau that said it was a quote around once you make that decision, how the wheels of the universe, like I don't have it memorized, but it's like it puts those wheels in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that. Have you seen that, Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Where like you decide and then doors just open up. I think that's why it should be the first step for any entrepreneurs to determine where are you driving your bus.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. And I have to mention, one of the best things that you have right now, especially, and this would be for newbies or seasoned, but I think for me as a newbie was your Transform Your Business workshop.
Thank you.
Because you gave us time to think about this. You actually had us do a little homework before the event. And that's one thing that I think lacks sometimes with this busyness in the world that we're in. We just get so busy doing that we don't take the time to stop and really think about where we're going.
Yeah.
And so that was a gift. That was a real gift.
Thank you. Working in the business keeps us from working on the business, right? We've probably all heard that term before, but it's true. Mm-hmm. We get caught up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then once you have a life vision, it's good to then make a strategic plan. Like, how are you going to accomplish this life vision? And that was something important through this workshop as well. And I think you have some phenomenal advice with that too.
Would you like me to share?
Yes.
So if step one is to get clear about our life, and where we would like to be in, 1 year, 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, you can have that life vision can be as complex or as simple as it takes to motivate you and to help you gain clarity. The same can be said about your business strategy. Again, where I took this idea of strategic plan was years ago when I read Chuck's book. Right after the life vision, he also talks about building a strategic plan. Chuck's model is much more complex than what I use now in my business, though there's not one that's right or wrong. It's just more his assigns due dates, and it's just a little more involved in the book. Mine's kind of more of a glorified to-do list. But to jump between this to-do list and the life vision, I think it's really helpful to think about our business as in terms of what are our profit centers or our revenue streams, and this idea of having a stool that has multiple legs. With COVID, some of our colleagues who have only been consulting and maybe occasionally speaking, or maybe they're doing both, but when speaking was basically taken away for months and then consulting pretty much vanished for most consultants for several months, it's just like wiping out those legs of that stool. And if those are the only legs propping up your business, you don't have any income. Mm-hmm. And it was so vivid. I mean, we know that, but we get going and things are good, and we don't really always prepare as much as we probably will now for the future. The more diverse we can make our business, the more stable it will be. And I think also by having different revenue streams, which are those different legs of the stool, you don't always have to have your primary revenue streams can shift over time. So certainly for my business through COVID, my primary focus did shift elsewhere. But as far as the strategic plan, I'm going pretty high level in this explanation because it is it's available on my website if someone wanted to take it deeper in that pre-work for the workshop. ultimatebusinessintensive.com, and just scroll to the bottom of the page. ultimatebusinessintensive.com will get you there. But the idea would be to determine what are your profit centers and what are the different programs and services that you offer. And then you want to take that into some type of a layout for what are your tasks and projects and things you need to be doing in each of those revenue streams. I mean, that's a really high level explanation. I'm always happy to have this conversation with anyone. So would it be okay if I throw out an offer to give me a call at this point?
Yes, you bet. Yes.
Awesome. So if you'd like to explore either the life vision or the business strategy more, I'd be happy to schedule time with you. Just shoot me an email, info@thedentalspeaker.com. And if you'll just put comp consult in the subject line, and then also if you could just remind us where you heard me. I'm blanking on the name. Reclaim Your Balance. Is that the name of this
Yes.
podcast?
Yes.
Reclaim Your Balance. If you could just put that in the body of the email, that will remind me where we connected. But I'd be happy to schedule with you.
Yes, that's fantastic. And I know I have visited with Vanessa, and it came away with pages of great ideas, pages of things that made me feel clear and ready to proceed with the next step. So she's really good at that. And so that is a wonderful thing to offer. And I hope people take you up on that, because that can really advance where they're going.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite things to do, honestly, is to hear what people's dreams and their goals, and to help share resources and tools so that they can reach them.
That's awesome. Well, you're super good at it. And I think that, not only is that stool, the balancing of that stool important, but going back to that life vision, that's what brings you happiness and joy, is when you are able to participate in those different legs of that stool, because that's truly what lights you up, right?
And so you could take the same idea, like the way I was sharing it was like more of a business and profit centers, but you certainly could apply that concept to a strategic plan for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've seen things like that, like the spokes on a wheel, where we've got spirituality and home and relationships, and you could have, you would apply a similar idea there, so that you make sure you're keeping your wheel rounded.
Right. Well, I think that's so important. COVID definitely did highlight this, but for dentists, any number of things can really throw the train off the tracks. I mean, a simple fall on the ice where you break your wrists can set you out of work, or, a family event, anything like that. So when you do have multiple legs of a stool helping to support you, that can be really critical.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure. And, many dental professionals grow to a place in their career where they look to speaking and consulting as those other legs of the stool. Well, they continue to work in the practice, either full-time or mostly full-time. And then how do I say, not that necessarily that we get older, but a lot of times it's like we get further along in our career, and we know we want to transition out at some point, that it makes sense to go ahead and start doing something like this simultaneously, so you can move out of dentistry. And it's challenging physical work. I mean, I've not been a dentist, but I can see the effects it can take on a body. And so it's nice to be able to have something to transition into.
Yes. Well, and the other piece of it is, when you have a message, or you have knowledge that you can share with someone else, what a wonderful way to reach a lot of people through speaking. And what really highlighted this for me at this weekend workshop that we were at was Katrina, who was saying that she has been told she's really good at delivering anesthetic, and gets a lot of questions about how she does that. And so that's part of what she wants to go out and teach. And so as dentists, or in the dental industry, we all have our areas of expertise, our ways of doing things that we can share with others.
For sure. We would assume so, right? I mean, if we're in this industry for very long, if we're passionate about what we do, then most likely there's something. Mm-hmm. There's some either clinical or business or some type of a focus that we feel like, as an office manager, we can feel like, man, I get it. I get the systems. I can wear all the hats. I know how to make this cat purr. I know how to keep it running. And so I think when that switch flips for us, and we recognize that maybe I am an expert. I've walked the 10,000 miles in the shoes, in the trenches, that there's something that I can share. I think for many people, that's where they first start by looking at someone on stage and thinking, could I do that? or maybe a consultant comes in and they think, I think I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many people say it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. So when someone is interested in this, let's say we're piquing someone's interest right now, what would you suggest for them? What would be maybe a first step to take to dip their toes in the water of this world?
Well, again, I'd be happy to answer questions and help provide some guidance on how to get started. A lot of times people will think, well, what would I talk about? And that makes sense. That's a logical place that we think we should start. And yes, we want to be thinking, what would the topic be? I just want to throw out there kind of a little monkey wrench in this idea of speaking is really a marketing activity in a lot of ways. So if speaking for most speakers and consultants is not the end goal, speaking puts us out there as an influencer and an expert, and it typically would help the audience members understand, like if they've heard you speak, Laura, by the time you're done with a 2 or 3 hour course, we have a pretty good idea whether we'd want to work with you, whether we see you as an expert. And as the speaker, that's what we want to have happen, is for not that we would ever sell from the stage, but ultimately by just showing, what you have to offer in the industry, it becomes more of a marketing activity.
Mm-hmm.
So for most speakers, it won't be the end goal. It could be that you just want to speak a little bit and for now, and that's fine too. But if you're really wanting to grow a business around this, that's where I think it would be helpful to talk to somebody who can help guide the path. That ultimately you'll want something more than speaking, because speaking is out on the front end of the business, and from the speaking opportunity we want to be able to have offerings of either products or services like mentoring or coaching or online education or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's so true that when you see a good speaker or hear a good speaker, you feel like you know them personally. You
Yes.
trust them. It's a know, like, trust. And then you usually want to be a piece or a part of their life in whatever way that is, whether they have a book or they have a course or they have a continuing education or a class. You're like, oh, yeah, I know them. They're awesome.
Right. Especially as a dentist, who's responsible for training a team, or just keeping the whole thing flowing the way it should. When we sit through a course and we think, wow, it feels like this might be the answer for us.
Mm-hmm.
My goal for speakers is to always provide way more content than the audience expected. We don't ever want to just dangle a carrot and not give them the goods. Nobody likes that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting give them everything they need to be able to solve whatever problem it is. And then that's going to help. Thank you. That's going to help the audience member understand if you have what it takes to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about, and I'll try and find my banner for it, JUMPSTART.
You have a banner? Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the birth of JUMPSTART, what it is, and what people can expect if they're interested in going.
I was speaking with Elijah Desmond, shout out to Elijah, earlier today, and he said to me, there's never been a better time to have a meeting called JUMPSTART.
Isn't that the truth?
I'm like, I hadn't really thought about it that way. Thank you, Elijah. But absolutely. JUMPSTART is called JUMPSTART because it's the first of the year. It's always the second weekend in January. It's typically like Wednesday through Saturday. So it'll be the afternoon of the 6th through the 9th. And JUMPSTART is the annual session associated with Dental Speaker Institute. And I love that you're coming, Laura.
I am. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to be there. We're about to have our 4th meeting. We will be meeting in person. We will have a hybrid component for those who want to participate, but for whatever reason, the quarantine issues might be too big of a hassle, or just for whatever reason, health. I recognize there's more than one right answer here. For some people, they're health concerned, or maybe they have a spouse with health concerns. They don't want to travel yet. So all of that is good. all of those are right answers, but we will have options for everyone. I just really believe it's important for us to get back on the horse and start having in-person meetings. So we're going to meet in Phoenix in January. But what Jumpstart is a dental meetings professionals gathering. Right now we are primarily speakers, many who also consult. We also have a fair number of meeting planners that attend and hear our speakers do little showcases to see if they might want to work with them. We also have corporate sponsoring partners that attend as well. I see the meetings industry as being those three groups: the planner, the sponsor, the speaker. And so what we're doing with Dental Speaker Institute's Jumpstart session is having a annual get-together for all the meetings professionals. Our conversation this year, besides education for each of those groups and the networking, one key component this year will be where do we want to go from here? Because we have this wonderful opportunity. Somebody has hit reset on our industry, and we have a wonderful opportunity to look at what we've done in the past. What do we think we might want to do differently, and really help drive that conversation? It's a really great meeting.
It looks really fun. You put pictures on the website of past events, and everyone has big smiles and wonderful comments about how great it was. So, and it's in Phoenix in January. So,
right.
That's a no-brainer, right?
Hopefully it'll be warm. This year we might be smiling behind masks because we're gonna be sure we're safe. We're gonna, if we are still needing in 3 months to social distance, we will. We can have hand sanitizer, masks, the whole bit. But we believe we can do it in a way that feels, certainly cleaner than going to Walmart on the weekend. No shout out against Walmart, but you know what I mean. With so many people coming through, it's not the same. So we're going to do our best to have everybody feeling really secure, and so that we can learn.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I think that's a perfect segue into, you also just help speakers, consultants communicate with meeting planners and sponsors, which doing that by yourself can feel very daunting without some guidance. So that's another wonderful thing you do to just help bridge that gap. Like you said, connect.
Yeah. Thank you. Because we've been building this business for some time, we have quite a few services. It's a lot of different levels. With that meeting, it's an opportunity to sit at the same table as some of our top meetings are typically represented, as well as all sizes of meetings. When I say level, I just mean based on the size of the meetings. We already have several meeting planners that have confirmed that they will be there in person this year. And I'm in the process of reaching out and just confirming who's all planning to attend in person. But yes, I'm losing the question now. I think that reminded me of a to-do list item. It's the balance, right?
Exactly. No, just how you help bridge that gap and connect speakers and dental meeting planners and sponsors.
I love that. Yes, I love that. I really do enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that I was going to be a connector. It wasn't until I worked with Catherine and started working and speaking, but I realized that it just brings me joy to help see people be able to collaborate and work together and get the answers they're looking for. Mm-hmm. Can I share with you about our fellowship?
Yes, please do.
Thank you. This is something that's brand new to us. It's just been introduced within the last couple months, and it's been 3 years in the making. And when we had our first Jumpstart, which was 2018, we had just a short period of time. It was like 6 weeks to market it and get people there. And so we ended up attracting enough people that we thought, well, we've got something, we could do something with this. And so the plan was then to create a fellowship. And we have 20 faculty members. I've gone slow on creating the fellowship because I want it to mean something. So there's a whole educational component there as well, where it's 300 hours of education over 5 years. And also there's an element of a history of speaking, so many engagements at certain types of meetings. That's kind of like the real high level view of it. But the idea is to earn the fellow in Dental Speaker Institute FDSI designation. You would want to, you're going to be someone who can get up and hit the ball consistently and get to third. To me, it feels like a master's would be not only the home run, but hitting it out of the park every time. So what we're going for with fellowship right now is helping our speakers feel so confident that when they speak, they're going to do a great job consistently. And that's when the business starts rolling in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is an exciting fellowship. The programs and the opportunities within that fellowship, and it gives you a path. It gives you a clear path and a goal. And then not only that, but again, connecting with other people, collaborating. So that's a really big thing.
Can I just share? I'm pretty sure I bought the domain name FDSI Curriculum. So F for fellowship, DSI curriculum.com would take you right to the page on the website. I'm pretty sure that will work. If you, for some reason, end up in the weeds, just go to dentalspeakerinstitute.com and there's a fellowship tab. The first one will tell you more about the program.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not letting me add another. Oh, there it goes. Is that right?
Hey, yeah, awesome.
Excellent. Good. You almost told me I had too many banners. I will make sure and get a list of all of these and put them, though, in the bottom, in the show notes and everywhere so people can have an easy click to get to these. So.
Oh, you're awesome. And the one connector is thedentalspeaker.com. Everything, that's where we start. And you could branch off from there, too, if you wanted to figure out which is the one to go to, thedentalspeaker.com.
Wonderful. And then you actually do have a free ebook that you can let people peruse as well.
For sure. And so if you will email info@thedentalspeaker.com and then just put comp or free ebook in the subject line. I love to know where people hear from me. So again, if you want to say Reclaim Your Balance, session, or do we call these podcasts? What do you call this?
You can Facebook call it whatever, Facebook Live, podcast.
They're so similar, right?
Yeah, chat. Just reclaim your balance would probably be good, right?
Reclaim your balance. And then, I would love to, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you. And then, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want to make sure that we touch on today for anyone listening?
Sure. And I'm thinking too, I think we said the ebook, but we didn't say what it is. So it's So You Think You Want to Speak in Dentistry. Mm-hmm. It's available on Amazon, but don't buy it. I'll just give it to you if you want to shoot me over the email. But this is for if you're wanting to get started, or if you already are started and you're wanting to grow your business. And that would be the thing I would share with your group is I feel like we're all things dental speaker, meaning the faculty that I work with and this group of people who can educate you on the business side of speaking and consulting, the presentation skills, the content development, just like how it works. What do I need to do to get started? I want to fast track it. I don't want to spend years trying to figure it out myself. Then you're in the right place. Be happy to answer questions and help you get going, no matter what it is you think, no matter where you're at on your journey or what it is you need. If it's not something that I have an answer for, I probably could connect you with somebody who does.
Fantastic. Yes. I think you have a wealth, like I said, an umbrella. You have an umbrella, and under this umbrella is just many spokes of ways to help someone progress in this, and even at the very least connect. So I think that is definitely take Vanessa up on her book and her complimentary consultation. You will come away from that a better person with a clearer vision of your life. So
thank you.
Yeah. All right, one last question. If you were sitting on the couch with your younger self, what is one piece of advice that you would give her?
I'm trying to clean up, so I take out the cuss word. Because I know what I'd say off the cuff. I would tell myself, don't care so much what other people think. In a way of, like, I think sometimes we play small because other people want to keep us in a box, or because they don't see our potential. What I would tell myself is you have all the answers inside you. I believe we all do. We all have an inner GPS in our gut. And for me, at 56 years old, if I could go back to the 20-some-year-old, I think I that would be what I would tell her is you're enough. Don't let anybody make you play small. Don't listen to naysayers. Just if in your gut, there's this great quote. Can I cuss?
Yes, go for it.
Esther Hicks is a philosopher I listen to, the Abraham Hicks stuff. And she says, when you have a decision before you, when you tune into your gut, if for now it's not a hell yes, then consider it for now a hell no. And I think about that a lot, that trying to decide, life things, business things, relationship things. When I tune into my gut, if it's not a, oh yeah, then we let it sit and kind of let it percolate, until at some point it is either clearly a no or a yes. That's more than one thing.
That's fantastic advice. I love it. And I think your younger self listened to you, because you've created quite an empire and are helping so many people. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Laura.
You're welcome. So we will wrap this up. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for spending some time with us today. And please email Vanessa at info@thedentalspeaker.com for a free consultation or to get a copy of her book. And we will put all of her links to all of this stuff in the comments below and in the show notes. So look forward to clicking on those and checking her out.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Bye, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.